problem solving is a really very well-known terminology in the software industry, and most of the companies do believe that problem solving is a real skill, and they do believe that they do consider that the people who can solve the real problems are the good thinkers, are the real thinkers, right? So in this video, I'm gonna tell like what is problem solving in detail. So let's get started. So everybody in this world, knowingly or unknowingly, always try to solve the problems, right? We will start understanding problem solving by considering few day-to-day real-world examples. This could be a very small problems. Yeah, we do solve in our real life scenarios. So I have considered 3 examples here to make it better understanding. Okay, for example, you're traveling in a bus and you want to reach some destination, and the travel time will take whole night, right? So during that time you have a low battery, and all the contacts and the required information that is there in your phone once after you landed or once after you arrive to the destination, the action items, the information, right? The action information, everything is there in your phone. But due to some certain conditions or what, many reasons we don't know, so you have a low battery in your phone. So what is our immediate thought process to handle this particular problem, right? This is a problem, right? This is a problem in our life. So in some particular time, most of the people might face this. How do you deal with this particular situation, right? You understand that having a low battery is not a good sign for your target, or for your once after reaching the destination, to do what are the things that you have planned. This is not a good sign. Then what you have to do, technically, right? If you speak, right? So what you will do, right? So basically you will try to decrease the screen brightness, right? Screen brightness, right? And next what you will do, right? You will also close all running gaps, right? All background running gaps which are not required at that moment. And some people also turn off the mobile data, right? They also turn off the mobile data if they are not used, because you need to make a call or you need to have some phone usage once after you arrive at the destination, right? So you will do certain things, or you will make some decision to handle this particular problem. So we have n number of options. Maybe you can also call to some of your friend, and make sure that you will make them aware that your phone battery might switch off your phone might switch off in some time, and that kind of deal. You will do it, right? The action items will do it. Or you may borrow some power bank from your neighborhood or somewhere, right? Someone co-passengers, right? So you do all the required things that are required to solve this problem, right? You will try to do it, right? So same thing, we'll talk about this example later, but let's understand, right? Few people, right? I understand nowadays everyone knows about the smartphone functionality and everything, right? Say for example, one new person came from one different company. Let's say some alien came, okay? Not from country, some different planet, some alien came, and you have given a smartphone to that particular alien, right? But it don't know how to operate that phone, and it don't know what is low battery and low. You don't know any technical details of that particular phone. But he has a belief that if he has the phone, he can able to reach the destination very easily. But he is not aware of low battery and all of those things. So for him, right, for this alien, right, handling this particular problem is very much difficult, right? The person who knows the technical details or the usage of the phone, right, can able to handle the situation more precisely than the person who don't know anything about the battery, right? So this process, right? This process we call it as a problem solving, right? Let's try to understand with some more example, right? Let's say you want to trip plan, okay? If you want to plan a trip to your family, right? See, understand here you have using the resources optimized way. Optimization you have implemented. Optimization, resource optimization, right? And prioritization, whatever the things that are required, you're only prioritizing that, not everything that you are doing in your phone, right? So this kind of application is also part of your problem solving. Here, when we are planning up the trip planning, right? Trip planning to your family, right? When I say the family, your family might have kids. Let's assume that you have kids, and also elder ones also part of the family, right? So when you're planning a trip, kids want something else. Kids want the joy fun, that kind of thing they want. But when it comes to the elder ones, they are more interested in devotional aspirations, devotional aspirations, devotional inspirations. I mean, devotional inspiration, temple visits, that kind of stuff they are interested in, right? Elder ones and kids. So, being a trip planner, what you have to plan is you have to make a trip in such a way that would fulfill the kids' needs and the elders' needs, as well as the accommodation, the travel, travel plan, everything that you have to deal with, right? So let's assume the person who don't know how to book a ticket in online, or who don't know anything about IRCTC or booking apps, can able to plan a trip very precisely like you did. No, right? Even though the requirements very clear, there should be someone who understand the, booking and the planning, like day one, what he has to do, right? Day two, what family has to do, where they have to accommodate, where they have to arrive and all the stuff. For a person who knows the booking.com, or, I mean, who are very good with, like, who knows like how to book a tickets, airlines, everything, right? Who deals those things very frequently. For them, the trip planning is much more easier when we compare to the person who don't know anything about booking applications and all. I understand nowadays everybody knows about the booking things and all, but let's assume this is the scenario like this. Okay, let's try to understand the concept. That's it. And also one more interesting example, I take a note. So let's assume that you lost your home key after you locked your home, right? So what's happening here? And by the way, see, when you are fulfilling this kind of kids and elder ones and their fulfill and their needs, you're actually handling, right? You're actually doing the stakeholder management, right? Stakeholder management. It's like, I mean, in this silly example, kids and their elder ones are like stakeholders in your business, right? And see, when it comes to this example, let's say if you have if you lost the key for the home that you have locked earlier, then what strategies you have to take, right? There could be n number of possible solutions. I mean, there could be many solutions. Something like few of them are, right? If you lost the key, will you directly break the key with using the hammer and some saw tools, and we don't break the key at the first attempt, right? What you will do, you will try to memorize the things that what was happened in the past, right? And you will try to recall like where exactly this key is placed, or you try to think it whether you have missed in your office or in the way or something like that. You will try to recall it. If that fails, right? If that fails, you will call to your wife or some of the family members to bring the spare key if they are outside, right? That's the option number 2, right? That's option number 2. And the option number 3, right? You can break the key from the back door of your house. Let's say that back door house lock is somewhat cheaper than the home key that you have at the primary door key is somewhat costlier than the key that used to lock in the back door, right? So if that is the case, you will not break this primary door, you will rather break the secondary door, right? These are the options. Even though the secondary door is also not there, then you will go for breaking the final. That's the final and worst scenario, that breaking the lock, right? Breaking the lock with the hammer and all, right? This is the worst scenario out of all possible solutions, right? So here in this is also a problem. How do you deal with this problem in the sense memory recalling and logical thinking and decision making, right? These are the key factors for solving this problem, right? And and then now if I tell you any problem, be it a business problem or software engineers do say that problem solving is a real skill, or real life also, right? No matter what problem you're solving, these are all the key areas we have to touch it, right? So see, identifying the problem is a real thing, real challenging thing. For example, right, here we have seen you're traveling in a bus, but you need to make a call once you reach the destination, but your phone battery is low. So to make that particular action, right, to make the call, you identified that there is a problem with your phone. So this kind of problem identification is really important, right? Identification of problem is really important. Even though AI is evolved, right? AI is evolved. This kind of problem identification cannot be possible with AI. Human has to identify the correct set of problem for the business, right? So this is how the identifying the problem is how that is important. And once after identifying it, understanding the root cause is also really important, right? Once you identify the problem, but what is the source of that particular problem? Why that problem is occurring, right? That kind of analyzing the root cause is also really important. Any problem in your real life is also this is the same, right? But we do not think that we are applying these kind of strategies, but these strategies, knowingly or unknowingly, we do apply daily as part of your life, right? So analyzing the root cause is also one of the important thing. And once you understand the root cause, right? See, when we talk about technically, right, in the AAO, I mean, in the software engineering or any business, if you want to analyze the root cause, you should be very good at basics. Very good at basics or foundation knowledge, all the technology that's been involved over there. For example, in case of the phone, you need to know how the brightness, decreasing the brightness will conserve some battery, or removing the background apps that is running in your phone, that helps in conserving the battery of your phone. That kind of technical knowledge is really important when you want to analyze the root cause, right? And once you have that foundation knowledge, and once you analyze that root cause, understanding the possible solution, like we discussed it, right? Decreasing the screen brightness, etc. These kind of possible solutions, right? You have to frame it like solution A. If you go with the solution A, what is the advantages? If you go with the solution B, what are the drawbacks? Something like that. You have to analyze it. You have to create all possible solution for that particular problem after you analyzing the root cause, right? Solution will only come once you understand the root cause, right? Once you understand the problem, then only you can solution it, right? Or else it's very difficult for solutionizing, right? We cannot assume the things and we cannot execute it, right? Especially in the business, right? And out of all the solution, we in the sense the people who is very good at the tech, right, need to choose the best one, right? When you say the best one, how would one person knows this is the best solution? Solution A is better than solution B. How would he knows that solution A is better than solution B, or solution C is better than solution A, right? How would he knows that? Because he has very technical about the problems, or he is having all the domain knowledge or the technical knowledge as part of his profession, right? The person who knows the technicality behind that, he can able to judge it. Of course, the business knowledge is also required to understand which solution is better, right? So maybe the stakeholder, someone might also help us, right? But the thing is that, what I want to emphasize here, to choose the best one also, the professional or the person should have the complete knowledge of that particular tech or that particular scenario, right? And once you have the best one and we have a approval, then we will go for the implementation. Here in the software industry, here coding actually comes. Not till here, right? Coding, actual code writing, right, will come here at the implementation stage, right? So once you implemented it, once you have done all the required fixes or whatever the things that you have done, then you will send it for the evaluation. I mean, you will evaluate the business-wise evaluation, right? Not code evaluation, business, the particular feature or the fix or whatever the thing that you have given, whether that is really working. If it is working, how much revenue that it saved, that kind of business evaluation will take place. So this is like typical steps in problem solving, no matter what problem I'm talking about, right? Any domain or anything, even in your life, right? If you have some problem, if you think in this way, right, definitely it can give that can be solved, right? So the people should be good at identifying the problem in that particular tech stack or something like that, right? So that kind of skills are really required, right? And let's talk about some real world problems, right? Software engineering real world problems, right? For example, I jotted some of the examples. We'll see one by one what that problem solving and how they have done at very high level, right? Okay. So the typical problem, right? Very typical problem in software industry, right? Production application outage, right? So this is a very, very typical problem, most generalized problem. No matter what company you are working for, the production outage will happen most of the times. So what is the reason, right? What is the reason by the way, what is the production outage in the sense? Let's say I have a customers, right? Customer directly interacts with the application, right? Let's say, for example, Hotstar or the Swiggy or the Paytm. There are n number of apps, right? Whenever the clients, I mean, users are using that particular application, there should be a server behind that is responsible for accepting the request and sending the responses. That server, right? That server, we call it as a production server, prod server. Right. So let's say the server is down, or if the server is crashed, the people cannot use the Paytm or the Book My Show or the Jio Hotstar, whatever you call it as. If it is down, if it is shut down, the people cannot use it, right? So this is very important, production server, right? But no matter how scale it is and how reliable it is, sometimes the production outage will happen. For example, right? Jio Hotstar. Jio Hotstar. Earlier it is called as a Disney Plus Hotstar, but nowadays it's Jio Hotstar, right? So Jio Hotstar has reported issue, if you are aware, right, if I am not wrong, in the February 2025, recently, when the match was 2004 or 2005. I did not remember it properly, but recently what happened was, right, so India and England match, right? At that time, the viewership for this particular Jio Hotstar was massively increased, and because of that, what happened? Because of that massive increase in number of viewers, that app was not able to handle that much of users, and that was down for some time. The people were not able to access the content from the Jio and Hotstar for a few minutes, probably. Few minutes also really important in the production app, right? And there is also one more example, right? Whenever Mr. Prabhas appeared in one talk show, right? I guess it's in AHA, not in Hotstar. It's in AHA. AHA is a one more OTT platform, right? It's in AHA, right? Mr. Prabhas is I mean, if you are not sure, right? He's a very popular South Indian actor from Telugu film industry, right? So he appeared in a talk show because of his craze and his following, right? Number of viewers are massively increased once the talk show is released in the AHA, and the AHA servers cannot handle that particular users at that moment, and the app became crashed for few minutes or few hours. We don't for some time it crashed, right? So because of massive users increased very drastically within short time, right? So these are problems, right? I understand. I mean, also understand this is the most anticipated problem that might happen in the production app, this kind of application. So AHA and Hotstar, what is the purpose of those apps? Right, this is the OTT apps, and it is very much likely to happen this kind of scenarios, and they might have handled it beforehand only, but still this kind of errors will happen, right? So they need to understand, right, once this was done, the back-end engineers, or the software engineers, they need to understand why this was not happening, even though they have written a logic for scaling up the resources, right? Whenever the situation is demanding the scaling of the resources, they might have already made it in their part of their product, but still that was not happened, or if it's not happened properly or not, they have to done all the investigation, right, in the back end. They have to do all the investigation, which means there are a lot of services that are in the back end. There are different services that are in the back end. They do communicate synchronously or asynchronously, right? So they have to understand why this particular outage has happened, even though they have written a logic for scaling up the resources and scaling down the resources. So they might investigate it. Once the investigation is done, investigation is like a root cause analysis, and once that root cause analysis is done, they have to identify the solutions, and they have to implement it. And of course, solution is, for us, right, for the users it might be very simple. We may think like scaling up the resources really help the particular solution, right? But that might not be the true, or maybe true or might not be the true. They have to come up with a proper RCA. If this is because of the scaling of the resources, then they would do it very easily, right? It's like, we don't break the lock in the very first attempt, right? We'll break the lock, but once all the doors are closed, then only we'll go for the worst scenario, right? So they also do that kind of understanding the problem, understanding and investigation, problems, identifying the different solution, implementing all the cycle. They do it, right? They have done it probably. They might have done it, and they will take care that this issue should not happen in the future again, right? This is a very potential issue, right? And as we are more focused on data scientists and the AI engineer, we'll also see like how the problem solving look like in the data science or AI world. Okay, so let's say the delivery time reduction, right? Delivery time reduction is also one of the this is a required, right? By the way, I'm taking this example, Zepto, Blinkit, and Jio Hotstar, and I have Book My Show, have mentioned different apps. I have no hatred or nothing personal about these apps. I just used these apps because most of the people able to relate these apps, because most of the people might have used it in your phone, right, day to day. So that's why I thought of using these examples, but nothing hatred or nothing fancy or nothing, no fanism is involved here. Okay, hope you noticed that, right? Okay, let's back to the topic again. So the delivery time reduction, right? Why delivery time is reduction is required? Let's say I am a person, right? I want to order groceries and Jepto, right? When I see the estimated delivery time, it shows 20 minutes to my location, right? For Blinkit, it is showing 10 minutes. Being a user, right? What I will choose? I will choose the Blinkit, right? To my location, Blinkit is serving better. So they understand my behavior, Jepto or Blinkit, they might have understand this behavior for several users, and they objective, right? Once they understand the data, once they analyze the data, they have understood that delivery time reduction is the primary key factor for winning the competition for these delivery apps, right? So once they identify the problem, right? Once they identify the problem, we have to, right? We have to, we in the sense the people who are working in the back end or the engineers, right? They have to put more focus on like how they can reduce the delivery time. How they can reduce, basically, they will extract the geo coordinates of the user, right? And they will get the rider details. In the data I'm talking about. Once they have the data, right? They have the data. They will take this data from the geographical location of the user and the availability riders in the that premises, right? And also different factors like what can we say, like prep time is not applicable here, maybe not prep time, or order collection time. Once the delivery partner reaches the location, what is the time that he can collect the order, and they will analyze the data and they will try to predict, build a model, right? Build a model that can predict the time, estimated time. Okay, let's say if the estimated time for that user is 10 minutes, right? A can also tell, right? A can also tell in what way this 10 minutes can be achieved. For example, you take a short route, this route instead of this route. That kind of route recommendation also can be given to the rider. That kind of this problem can be handled in this way also, right? Or if you simply train a logistic regression algorithm, linear regression algorithm, or something like that, it will predict the time, right? From the given data, it will predict the estimated time. Once the time is something like this, 20 minutes, right? Once he orders it, right? Before ordering itself, if it predicts the time for the users, those users who are getting more time, those users can be offered some discount or something like that. They can handle that frustration from the user. They'll be ready to handle that frustration, to avoid the frustration from that user, right? By providing some scratch code or something like that. They can do n number of things when they know, like for who are all the customer, they can deliver fast, and who are all the customers, they will take some time, right? They can do their things, right? But before that, we need to understand for which location it is taking more time, for which location it is taking less time. So for that, we need to gather the data and do this training, and all the things might help. So this is one of the data science problem, typical data science problem, the delivery time reduction from the user to the store. Okay, so this is how it will be. We can talk more in detail in the coming videos, right, about the problem solving. But in this video, I'm just focused on giving the high level view of what is problem solving. Okay, and one more feature or one more product that AI engineers, right, this can be also potential problem. Let's say I have a ad agency, right, advertisement agency, and I am making the ad videos for the different products, right? For the small products to the big products, small in the sense the products which are having the less budget, and the big products in the sense the products which are having the more budget, right? I've been creating the videos for them, ad videos. So for me, it is taking really lot of time for setting up the model and shooting that particular product and doing the post processing here, post processing that particular video, like editing, VFX adding, etc., and finally delivering the product to the client. So this particular cycle is taking a lot of time. That is a potential problem for my ad agency, right? What if I ask my software engineer team or the data science team to build something like that, automated advertisement generation, right? With the current AI in the hand, right? In the world, this is very possible scenario, right? We can automatically generate the ad, right? Ad videos, generate the videos. Let's say we can the flow something like something like this will be, right? The script can be generated automatically, screenplay also generated automatically, and the model in the sense, not the AI or ML model, the advertising model, right? Ad model. Those photos, if you have like 10 number of photos of that particular model and the product photos and all this, right? All this, with all these inputs, also the music also can be generated by the AI. With all these inputs, I can generate an ad video, multiple ad videos, right? I can design an application, something like that. It can generate the video 1 and video 2 from the AI itself, right? For the people, for the products which are having the low budget, I can use this pipeline. Being an ad maker, I can use this budget, right? If the product is having the more budget and they want more manual intervention and more manual support, I can spend more time on those kind of products, right? Being an ad agency owner, I will ask my staff to do work on these products. I mean, the products which are having the high budget and they have more specification, I'll work with them. I will ask the staff to work with this rather for the products which are having the less budget. For less budget, I will use this product, right? This is one of the Gen AI problem, basically, not a data science problem, Gen AI problem with the agentic architecture and all, right? Whatever the agentic framework, I mean, we can easily orchestrate this kind of problem. So, of course, even though if I'm using AI, I do require some common sense and I do require some thought process to solve this problem, right? It's not completely AI driven though, right? And one more fundamental doubt everybody will ask is like, I'm sure like people nowadays, the AI is generating the code very fast and it's a phenomenal job it's doing for generating the text and the code. With that capability, can AI be a problem solver? Let's also discuss this point as well. So according to me, right? So the simple answer is no. AI cannot be the problem solver. I'll tell you why. There are a few reasons. These are the top reasons I would feel. For example, human knows identifying what problem he's solving and why he's solving, right? This is very important that I said, right, at the very starting of the video. Identifying the right set of the problem to solve in your business is really crucial, right? So that will enhance your business or that can ruin your business as well. So this identification of the problem is really important. That can be done by the humans only. AI cannot do it. Not just today's AI. Let's say the AI is evolved much, right? After a few years or decades also, AI cannot do this. Human has to do it. Like human has to understand what is the existing problem, right? Human is master in that. Because the business, this is my business, I understand, right? Not the AI. And one more thing is, right? And if something new is happening in the world, all of a sudden, if something new is coming suddenly out of nowhere context, right? Very new context it's coming. For AI, right? It's very difficult to handle that kind of scenarios. For example, COVID-19. So the COVID-19 is never occurred earlier. It was massively at large scale, it was occurred in the world. Right? Let's say the AI is there in 19, as today's AI is there in 2019. It does not understand what is COVID-19. It does not know what is the treatment protocol the doctor should follow when the COVID-19 comes. It cannot help the humans. Human has to apply their own brains. The doctors or the researchers, they have to apply their own brain to solve this kind of problem. Right? The thing is that AI cannot be innovative. AI cannot be innovative. Innovation AI cannot make. Human only can innovative, right? But always understand the people who uses AI, he can fast up the things. But AI alone cannot replace the humans in this problem solving scenario. Innovation, AI cannot do innovation. What does it mean in the sense, right? Let's say AI, right? In future there can be more applications on cooking. AI can cook. all the Hyderabadi biryanis and all the tandoori cuisine, whatever Chinese cuisine or Arabic cuisine, whatever things, AI can able to do that kind of chef skill, of that kind of cooking. It can do it because all the cuisines are already very popular in the world. Let's say tomorrow the chefs like Jordan Ramsay is a very famous chef in the worldwide, right? So let's say the chefs like Jordan Ramsay, he will keep on inventing the new cuisines, new dishes from the inspiring from the cultural context. And I mean, if you go to the Himalayas and all, right, you will observe like how the people will cook, right, that momos and all, right. So he will observe that particular thing. He might create a new thing, right. That dish might call as something else. That kind of innovation AI cannot make, right? That innovation cannot make. So people only can do that innovation, right? And so that's why AI cannot solve the problem solving, right? And the whole point of telling all these things is, right, so remember that professionals, right, the professionals like the developers or software engineers or whatever the professional, you are a doctor, maybe lawyer or someone, right, who uses AI plus who also applies this human thinking, right? Human thinking in the sense skills. The person who is having the skills, let's say you are a doctor will have some set of skills, right? The more skills you have, the more demand, right? I mean, the more smart doctor you are, right? The skills and the common sense, right? With this combination, if you are using the AI as well as applying the skills and the common sense, you are very powerful and you are dominated in your field. No doubt about it. And the total future is for you actually, if you are using the AI and the skills, human skills and the common sense, right? So, and it is very much important for the professionals in the IT field, IT or the software, right? They should understand using the AI plus building the AI as well. So that is really important for IT people or software engineer, building the AI and using the AI, human thinking, skills plus common sense, right? If you have that combination, the future is for you, no doubt about it, right? You will be a very productive person. So that's why I strongly recommend, if you are thinking to learn AI, I strongly recommend to start right from today. So AI will be like a generic thing for techies. Say for example, who is not using the computer nowadays? Right? Computer, who is not using? Everybody using the computer. Doctor use the computer. CA use the computer. Software engineers use the computer. Even though it's a computer is very technical to the very technical. Many people uses it, right? Of course, the software people uses in a very different way, but they use the computer. And who else? Even the grocery stores use the computer. AI is also will be like that only in future. Everybody should use the AI, and the software engineers or the IT people should know how the AI works, and building the AI. Building the AI is very important for IT people, right? So that's why start learning the AI or the data science from the foundation level, right? So if you have a plans, let's make it start learning right from today, right? So that's all from this video. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.